College Football National Championship, Notre Dame versus Ohio State. Preview and prediction. You guys make sure that you guys like, subscribe, get notifications, and tell a friend about the Unafraid Show because, of course, you need to share because somebody loves college football as much as you do. Now, this preview is going to be a little bit different than the ones that you're used to. We're going to X's and O's and all. Nah. Because these games are bigger than that. They are about the people involved, the mentalities involved, and all the things that are actually going to shape who wins and loses the game. So let's start out with Notre Dame because I cannot imagine being Marcus Freeman. You're 40 years old. You are the head coach of Notre Dame in your third year, and you are in the national championship. And not are you playing anybody, you are playing your alma mater in the national championship. Me as an Oregon Duck, I can't even imagine coaching against them in my 40th year. I mean, you already know that you are on a trajectory that is way ahead of everybody else. You have one of the premier jobs, and now you have a premier opportunity. That is dope as hell. That's exactly what Marcus Freeman is going through. We're talking about a school that gave him his coaching debut, his coaching start in 2010, the place that he spent 5 years at being a linebacker, and now he gets a chance to beat them for a national championship. That has to be a little bit special and a little bit like, dang, I got to take out my mans. And that reminds me of a Drake lyric where it says, at some point in time, your idols become your rivals, and then you got to AI them for survival. So they're talking about where AI crossed up Michael Jordan and everything because Ohio State is basically Michael Jordan of college football right now. If an article is written about them, it is, or something in the media, and their ratings are going to do pretty much better than anybody else in college football. That's just the facts. Now let's look at the Ohio State side of things. Look at Ryan Day. Now, you might think that it was unlikely to have a guy under 40 coaching in a national championship. Well, how about a coach that bounced back and forth between a mediocre Boston College team and Temple, only to have a fortuitous bounce in his life? And that bounce saw him follow Chip Kelly from Philadelphia to San Francisco, where he was Colin Kaepernick's quarterback coach in that famous 2016 season. Then after that, Ryan Day goes to Ohio State and really works his way up the corporate coaching ladder. Tim Beck leaves Ohio State, goes to Texas. Ryan Day takes his job. And then you have Urban Meyer go out, and then Ryan Day ends up the head coach. That's exactly why those born on third base things are talked about when it comes to Ryan Day. Like he hasn't put in his work to be a college football head coach. Now, you can call them allegations fair, unfair, whatever, but at this point in time, the dude does deserve some credit. He's got a Cotton Bowl win, he's got a Rose Bowl win this year, and this is his fourth trip to the college football playoff. So this ain't just a flash in the pan. Oh, born on third base, he sucks, and nepotism coaching. Nah, that ain't what it is. And this is his sixth year at Ohio State, and we're talking about a man that's 69-10 in his career. And some people actually think that he's gonna have to go 70-10 and win the national championship to be invited back for a seventh year. Now, I don't think that that's true, but that's the way Ohio State fans are obviously going to feel. Now, let's look at the Ohio State Buckeyes, the actual team, right? This is the team that has beat up Tennessee in the college football playoff, beat up Oregon, and then beat Texas. So, of course, they are going to be clear-cut favorites against Notre Dame coming into this game. And when you look at the combination of Trayshawn Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, who have rushed for almost 2,000 yards and 25 touchdowns this season, they were billed as what was going to be the best duo in all of college football. And they basically lived up to it. Almost 2,000 yards, 25 touchdowns. And that's going to be a lot for Notre Dame to deal with. But Notre Dame did deal with Penn State's running back crew of Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, and they did a good job stopping them dudes. Now, while those running games are important, this game is likely going to be decided through the air. Like, who is going to have a better game? Is it going to be Riley Leonard or is it going to be Will Howard? Because Will Howard is on an absolute hot streak right now. But Notre Dame's defense has only allowed 12 passing touchdowns through 15 games this season. So this defense is stout through the air. They're good against the run. And Marcus Freeman is literally a defensive genius. So he's going to look at this Texas film, look at the Oregon film and say, what are some of the things that worked and didn't work in this game? And then as a coordinator, you actually have to do a better job of anticipating what the guy is going to do against you, like where your own weaknesses are. So I look at the quarterback battle. Who do I trust more? And because I've said that to win a national championship, that at some point in time, your quarterback is going to have to be a superhero. And neither one of these quarterbacks has had to be a superhero yet. And one of them is going to have to play out of their mind for them to win the game. And before the season, not when the playoff came out, nothing like that, I picked Notre Dame to be in the national championship. And I said they were going to be playing against Oregon or Ohio State. But I said it was going to be Oregon. Now, Oregon got knocked out by Ohio State because when the bracket came out, I said the winner of the Ohio State-Oregon Rose Bowl. That was before Ohio State even played Tennessee. Whoever wins that game, I said that if Oregon wins, they'll win the national championship. But either way, they were going to play Notre Dame in the Natty. And that's exactly what we have gotten in this situation. And you're probably wondering how we got through this far in the video without mentioning Jeremiah Smith, the most explosive man in all of college football. The man that, honestly, if he were draft available right now, would be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. But he's got to waste away in college for a couple more years. But, I mean, truthfully, if he could go to the league, he would be 2 more years closer to a second contract. That's how good that this dude is. He's not only special, he has the opportunity, if he keeps working and staying healthy, to be legendary. And Notre Dame is going to have to take a page out of Texas's book and make sure that they double him, keep a safety over the top, and have something creative to make Will Howard stop looking at him. Because Will Howard at times does get locked in on Jeremiah Smith, and that can cause some interceptions like it did in the Texas game. But Smith is not the only weapon on this Ohio State team. You got Tate and you have Emeka Egbuka as well in the wide receiver core. So, but when we watch Ohio State play, it's not all big chunks down the field because Notre Dame is unlikely to keep one safety in the middle of the field and allow you to take big shots down the field like that. So it is going to be much of what you saw against Oregon and what you saw against Texas, which is shorter throws, because that's what Chip Kelly likes. Easy throws, completions, move the sticks. And when you have dynamic athletes, they're going to break tackles. And if you can get the defense's eyes going the wrong way, which Chip Kelly does with double pulls and the backs going different directions and everything else, then you are going to see big plays out of this Ohio State team. And it's not even necessarily a matter of discipline because there's so much what coaches call eye candy going on that it is easy to get lost. Now, on the other side, you got Notre Dame. Notre Dame is incredible. They're incredible on defense. They got a top 6 defense. I'm sorry, a top 6 offense and a top 3 defense as well. So this ain't no mismatch like it appears to be on paper. And Ohio State's not unbeatable. They've lost 2 games this year. They lost to Michigan and at home, mind you. And they lost to Oregon this year. So they are not unbeatable. They are not infallible, anything like that. And people keep wondering why Ohio State has lost certain games, particularly the Michigan games. I believe that Ohio State has gotten tight because of their head coach, Ryan Day. That there is something about these big games, whether it's been the Michigan game, the initial Oregon game this year, Oregon game a couple years ago, where he gets a little bit tight. And then that permeates through the team. And now your team can't play as loose. They can't practice as loose. Because watch his demeanor on the sideline. If things go great in the beginning, oh, he'll be all smiles. And then the game gets tight, his face stiffens up and it tightens, and you can see it through the television screen. And he's got to stay loose from beginning to end. He's got to stay the same guy from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. Fourth down calls, none of that. Because when a coach gets tight, the players around him get tight. Now, we've talked all about Ohio State's offense and weapons and everything. We got to talk about the Notre Dame run game because they have been explosive and dynamic all year, and they've actually allowed Notre Dame to play the way that they want to play. They don't want to throw the ball 30, 45 times a game. They don't. They want to run it down your throat. They want to play action. They want to get Riley Leonard out of the pocket. They want you trying to guard big plays and just run you over, road grade you, make it ugly. And that's what Notre Dame wants to do. So if this game stays under 30 points, Notre Dame is absolutely going to win. If this game gets over 30 points, I'm not talking about 30 total points. I'm talking about one individual team. They score over 30 points, Ohio State is going to win. They're going to run away with the game. But if this is a 27 point, like the highest score total is 27 points, Notre Dame's going to win. You can book it. Now, these two teams actually met last year, and this ended up in a 17-14 game after a touchdown with 1 second left, where Notre Dame only had 10 men on the field and was doing a good job of a goal line stop. So this is a rivalry game. This is a game that we saw that was really good last year. And now all of a sudden people are, oh, Ohio State, they can't be beat. Listen, Notre Dame is down some defensive players, but this is going to absolutely be a good game. And I'm actually taking Notre Dame for the win. They are going to shock the world, and the narratives about Ryan Day are going to continue despite him being a good coach. And then Marcus Freeman is going to be elevated into a lore of Notre Dame history that they could have never expected. I'm George Wrighster. This is the Unafraid Show. Like, subscribe, and tell a friend. Peace out.